I want to tell you a story that happened when I was in 200 level in the medical school. You know, we were preparing for uh, Viva in medical physiology. Viva is an oral examination, and it's just a let me say 2 to 5 minutes exam. And your examiners will ask you questions, and then you're expected to respond. And so most times, many of my colleagues did not really prepare specially for the Viva because, of course, we've been reading for all the other segments of the exam. So they were just praying that the examiner will ask what they already know. But in my arrogant mind, I felt like, no, I can actually read all the topics again from my Viva. And that was what I set out to do. So when many of my friends were praying, God, let them ask me what I already know, for me, I just felt like, no, I'll read. So I started reading topic by topic by topic by topic by topic. And on the day of Viva, I'd already read all the topics again, revised all the topics again, but one, just one. And they call that aspect of physiology muscle physiology. I would never forget. And so, as I was about to carry the handout for muscle physiology, that was when my number was called. So I ran inside. So immediately I got inside, I was there standing in front of the examiner, full of smile and confidence. And then the examiner looked at me and said, I'm going to ask you one question. I said, all right, sir. Thank you, sir. And he said, and that will be it. I said, okay. And he said, I'm going to take you on muscle physiology. Oh, you need to see how I started shivering. I began to shiver. I was sweating because that's just the only topic that I was about to revise before I was called. So I summoned courage. I said, okay, you can go ahead, because I felt like, okay, maybe he's still going to ask me an aspect of muscle physiology that I know. But to my utmost surprise, he was asking me the molecular aspect, the part that I did not read. And of course, I didn't know it. So I was looking at him. In my mind, I thought that he was going to ask me another question, at least give me another chance to prove myself. But to my utmost surprise, he said, you can go. You can go. I didn't go. I just stood in front of him, thinking that, in my mind, I was praying, please, can you just ask me another question? But after about 2 minutes, he shouted at me, get out of my office. And, I quickly left his presence, and I slammed the door behind him, and, just shivering. And I remember, I would never forget, I cried from the faculty to my hostel, because I felt like, if an exam is 10 marks, I was told Viva is 10 marks. If an exam is 10 marks, and I was asked a question and I failed to answer the question, what would be my score? And I remember that day I went to pray. I said, Lord, I'm sorry. If I pass this physiology, I will serve you, and I will always put you first in everything that I do on this campus. To the glory of God, I passed. I learned a lesson. I learned my lesson. And I would, ever since then, that time, 300 level, 400 level, 500 level, 600 level, my Viva exams has been nothing short of testimonies. Scripture says something in Proverbs chapter 3 from verse 5. It says, trust the Lord with all thy heart and lean not on your own understanding. Verse 6 says, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Verse 7 says, do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. This year, that's my admonition for you. Don't think you are smarter than God. Do not be wise in your own eyes. In everything you want to do, trust the Lord. Yes, it's good to read, it's good to study, it's good to save, it's good to invest, but please trust the Lord. Remember, Paul planted, Apollos watered, but God giveth the increase. You want increase this year, in addition to your hard work, your skills, whatever. Remember that there's a God factor, and it is that God factor that makes all the difference. I hope this bless you. I'll see you next week.